you.
Good morning, good people.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm alive and well and kicking, and that's better than they like, so I'll keep it that way. Uh, I had a question for Rudy, and I must be losing my mind because I can't remember what it is now. I lost your first contact just a minute ago, and it caused me to go into warp drive here.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
If I don't have anything interesting to report, I usually don't answer the phone. But if you have
yeah,
something important to report, then call back like twice, you know?
yeah. I just wanted to have contact with you folks. There was an important issue about with Robert yesterday about trying to get a hold of Columbia Legal Services in Seattle, and about trying to get a court order for public disclosure on that information from the FBI that we need to have in order to sew the case shut. Uh, there's a way with that to prove that the FBI destroyed the weapon, and I need to get somebody to be able to go to court and do it. Now I have one that used to be an inmate attorney at Coyote Ridge. Her name is Cynthia Jordan. She is now the tribal court judge at Colville Confederated Tribes in Nispila. And I don't have the number to be able to call her from where I'm at now. All of my information has been kept away from me. Isn't that something? Anyway, the thing that they tried to use to put me here was that I was supposed to have threatened directly this Marcus, an prison guard in N unit, and between him and another one named Brown and another one named DeYoung, and their sergeant on that shift, they've been poking at me for all the time that I've been here, 10 months or more. And they picked it up immediately after I put in for the move to Monroe in my last classification hearing, where I got all these points and stuff, and we can't let him have that and get away with that, so they attacked with a 10-point infraction, claiming that I had made threats, said something that was not for their listening in the first place, and it wasn't about them. It was about what was going on in the TV, in the cell, and talking between me and my cell partner about what was going on politically and about what was going on with the state of Washington and stuff. The state of Washington has removed the death penalty. And I was telling him that these officers probably should start looking for different ways to deal with the prisoners and stuff, because there's going to be someone that gets the understanding that if they kill an officer, it doesn't matter because they won't get killed. And having the officer gone will make it a whole lot better. I told him instead of being like me, there'll be somebody that loves crime, and it will be an ease for them because they have then a place to stay. They don't have to worry about financing their family or anything. They've got an easy life with 3 meals a day and a place to sleep where nobody can disturb them while they're sleeping. They can't do that on the outside. And they took and abused this and turned this around into me threatening this officer. Now, if he's secretly listening over the intercom, and I don't know he's there, and it doesn't matter because he's in a booth someplace in the other part of the building, and I'm in my cell in another part of the building, and there's locks between us. How can that be construed as a threat? So the hearings officer understands this, and he drops it to a 5-point major instead, because there were things said that could have been this, it could have been that, and I said, yeah. And then they were going to put me back out on mainline, and what I saw coming was this. They put me back out on mainline, and that wasn't good enough for them to send me to the hole once. They'd send me to the hole again, saying that I not only threatened them, I tried to hurt them. And I said, no, I don't want to go back out on mainline. I want to go to another institution. I want to go to Monroe because Monroe makes it easier for my wife to be with me more often. She comes from Brussels, Belgium, halfway around the world twice a year. And I just discovered that my son is living in Enumclaw, and I have a grandson that I haven't met, and I'd like to be able to see them on a regular basis now. So they're working to put me in Monroe, or at least that's what they say. I said, either send me to Monroe or send me back to Walla Walla. I don't want another day here on mainline. So that's where that's at then. And we're trying to gather between my son and I and Agnes and you folks and stuff, trying to gather the things necessary to get me there. What I need is to have you folks put out a request to Tracy Epper in Valdez, Alaska, to have him try to get a statement to the Department of Corrections Secretary in Olympia requesting, under those grounds that I just stated earlier here, to get me moved there for the expense purposes. And as a final note to that, I was supposed to be left at Monroe because of a court action that I took against them when I was with Penny still. And the results of the court action made a contract between us and them that said that as long as I didn't cause any problems or anything, they were supposed to leave me at Monroe. Now, when Bindle got killed by Sheriff, they locked us all down and then dispersed all of the life without people to different institutions, no matter what. So, but now it's been long enough that we're able to go back there, or at least it appears so, because there were 7 people from this institution in the last 3 weeks that have gone from here to Monroe, and they've got worse records than I've ever had. So they can find a place for me too.
You know what that you know what that reminds me of? You know what that reminds me about?
What?
In Dallas, I think the latest news is they're not going to prosecute any thieves if they steal something less than $750.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear that. I've been locked up for 14 days now.
It's crazy.
Almost. Well, they're trying, the people in power are trying to manipulate a nationwide go-off. you've got to understand that Jesse Ventura, the ex-governor of Wisconsin, had a documentary on about 3 years ago that I remember, where he was investigating somebody's report that there were at least 5 facilities that had been built in the Mid-South or in Arizona or those places there that didn't have any people there, didn't have any people working. They were just closed tight. And upon examination of them, they found that these were supposed to be for any upcoming riots or things like that. Now, this is where the people that were coming across the border illegally were supposed to be held up. But for some reason, the Homeland Security isn't about opening that up for them yet. So they've got something else in store. And it tells me that the people of this here United States ought to be watching out for their back, because those people that are in uniform and acting as police officers and prison guards and border guards and stuff are nothing more than paid mercenaries. And they need to be careful, because they have a different agenda than the United States government does. And they're starting to gain power. And they're starting to be more of them than there are National Guard, and there are Navy Reserve and Army Reserve and Coast Guard and things like that. And there's something ugly coming, and it needs to be watched out for. I don't know what else to say about it, because I don't know the interim in between it. But Jesse Ventura's article on that news article, it was an hour-long thing, and it was only shown once.
How old is...
This was about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. I remember it being at Coyote Ridge when I seen it. So that's a little over 3 years, maybe a little bit longer. But I can remember him saying, why is the U.S. government doing this? And it wasn't just the U.S. government. It was Homeland Security. And we already know that Homeland Security is not about saving all the citizens. It's only about saving what government that they deem is crucial to survival. So, that said, that's the things that you people have to look out for there. And I'm talking with Agnes earlier, and what she had to say about the right-wingers in France and in Brussels being totally against all of the immigrants that are coming from Syria and eastern countries there, trying to find a way to survive and live and make a living that at least their families can survive. All of these people are, yes, they're right-wingers, but they don't have any money backing them, it appears, because they're all youngsters. They're all just barely voting age, and they're over like 21 to 24 years old. And it makes for an obtuse look, because the president of France got in like Trump did here, but he's on a different vein. He was on helping build France and make things stronger, and for some reason now, after this time, making a big push against him. I don't understand. I haven't seen as much about France lately as I could have, maybe, but I don't understand. He seemed like a very good individual, and he stood up against Trump. Now, maybe there's something going on with that I don't know about, and other people should be watching too. I don't know. What I'd like to see is those people that are following you and Rudy on the websites contact the Department of Corrections Secretary in Olympia and ask for my move immediately to Monroe. That would be a blessing for all of us, because it would be getting me closer to attorneys that I need to be able to get myself free, and closer to my son so that we can work together a little closer and things like that. On a good note, the mail offices here would not process my request for my war bonnet and blanket for Agnes. So I had to send it back to them with a note asking them why they couldn't process it, because it was not curio items. It wasn't coming back to me. It was being sent to my son. So they turned around and sent it on the 20th. So I told Robert in the last phone call that he had a war bonnet and a blanket for Agnes coming. The war bonnet he was supposed to hold on to, because that would be for me either if we got to where we were at a powwow in the deal or whatever. I said if I didn't make it out, it was his in blessings. So that's about all I have for you. I hope you're doing well. It worries me at times that you people stand up to the people that you do and have the problems that you have. It's unnecessary. It's counterproductive, and it goes against everything that a good U.S. citizen should be standing for. There should be millions of people standing up for those that are innocent incarcerated in the United States. Why is it that so few people have the backbone to stand? It worries me.
I think fear took over the entire country when JFK was shot and when the Twin Towers came down, and now everybody's scared to death. But we don't hide our light under a bushel. We shine,
No.
and we're transparent, and we don't have secret meetings, and we're not afraid.
Well, those of us that know through the retired journalist Samuel, what the hell is his name? I'm sorry. Anyway, he retired from the Washington Post, and I had Agnes try to contact him to get our case going. But he was the one that exposed that the Twin Towers incident was not...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Osama bin Laden's actions, and proved it. And it was CIA, and it was all about the gold that was in the basement in both buildings. That gold came from my reservation. I know it. Anyway, please take care of you. My blessings to all of you. God.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
You too, Patrick.
Take care of you.
Okay.
Be well. Be strong.
Okay, dear.
Be happy.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Talk to you later.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.